So we've lost 3-0 to Newark Town in the League Cup today. First half I thought was fairly even and they were pushing us back a bit, but the sending off was pivotal in the game, and then obviously to score with the last kick of that half really killed us at that point, I would have thought.
Yeah, good take four that is, Spenny. Well done. Yeah, it's a bit of a bizarre game, that really one. I think it is probably one that both teams looking forward to the league programme moving forward could in some respects do without with, but equally it's always nice to go through in the cup. I think, yeah, just to go on the game initially, I think it was an even contest initially. They made changes, we made a couple of changes, wanted to make more changes than I did, but wasn't able to due to circumstances I can talk about shortly, and probably what the supporters saw today. So I'd usually say, apologies about that performance, but it was all circumstantial today, and as you say, Spenny, I think it was pretty even initially. I think they had a few chances. They got in down the left a few times. The lad Perkins, he's not bad, to be fair. He's tricky, and he's a good size, and he can go in and out. So causes problems in that particular area. We had our own chances as well, in terms of not chances as I say like clear cut, but putting the ball in the box, use of the conditions, etc., etc. And it's a bit of a sucker punch really, in the fact that we've lost the ball in a poor area. We've taken too long on the ball, and then to be fair, they've sprung quick, decent pass. Sam Harris is struggling in terms of trying to get back. The execution of the challenge was late, and he gave the referee a decision to make. I don't think you could categorically say he was the last man, but equally, I don't think you could categorically say he wasn't. So I can see why he's made the referee's made the decision he's made, and it is what it is. Fortunately, it's only one game. It'll be against Milton, and he isn't here, so that kind of, it is what it is, sort of thing. But that's also a learning from Sam in terms of, I'm not saying that the lad wouldn't have scored, but equally speaking, he still had a bit to do. He's still got to get the touch right. He's got to set himself. He's then, Sam's, even if he doesn't go to ground, he's going to get back at him, and he's still got to beat Azza. So, yeah, look, that was a killer. And then obviously to concede when we did as well, where I thought we were reasonably set, and literally it was the last minute of that game. We've got to manage that situation better. And then, to be honest with you, second half really, they were in first or second gear. We kept going, but it was a bit of a training exercise, I'd really say, in terms of attack versus defence, and we had a couple of opportunities. I thought we started the first 10-15 minutes reasonably well. I thought we did all right, and we caused them probably more problems than they did us, but they were probably kind of sat in their shape and ready to counter us, because they are a good counter-attacking side. And then obviously you got the second goal. I think probably we just got to seek the danger. I know there was a player on the outside, and obviously they are going to create overloads, but we've got a sense where the danger is. Bit of a fortunate bounce, and then I think, to be fair, it could have been probably a little bit more, but fair play to the lads. They kept going. But as you probably saw, we've gone from a situation where we had 21, 22 in the squad, where we're scratching around today for lots of different reasons. A little bit lads away, a little bit in terms of lads through injury. I look at the injury list, it's ridiculously long. Ryan Martin had to go and help Corby out, because if not, they'd only had 13 today. And then we had a couple that, one I totally understand that was coming, then wasn't coming. And then I had another lad who said he can't play today because he don't want to get hurt. So he won't be at the football club anymore. And yeah, it's just real bizarre in terms of the game was a little bit bizarre. It felt like a little bit of a training exercise, second half. I think in terms of the amount of injuries we've got, I think it's about 7 or 8. I think we can nearly put out a side worth of injuries, which is just ridiculous. Fair play to Gene. We've got a sub goalkeeper coming on as a centre forward. That's how short we were today, and that. To be honest with you, that's no one's fault. That's just circumstantial that we've had so many injuries in a short space of time. And to be fair, we've had a lot of games, and it's going to be one of those where we've got to look to try and get a couple in at the very least. I think it's not something I want to do because I like the group that we've got. But if you've got key lads injured, you've got key lads injured. So we need to get players in. And look, I know we've lost today, but we're in a good spot. We just got to be ready for Melton at home, and then we have got some real tough away fixtures, which I think 4 in a row, I want to say, where that will really test the squad and test our mettle. In terms of we've got Boston Town, we've then got the Vars game at Harleston, then we've got Blackstones, then we've got Sherwood Colliery. So we've got a sizable amount of away games in a row, which is going to happen because we've had a sizable amount of home games. But we need to be ready for that. This week we've got to have a look at it. We've got to see who's fit, who isn't fit, and then look at what we need to bring in and what we don't need to bring in. We had another one today where Ethan Wilson's done his hamstring. We brought Sam Bennett on, who I thought was class on Tuesday. He's struggling. Ben Deere had to go off with an injury. Amir Ward, he's not quite there in terms of full fitness at the minute. It's one of those where, I've never known anything like it, to be honest with you. And take it Ethan out. Ethan probably and Dero, every other is just an impact one. So we've got to regroup, dust ourselves down. We're in a good position. Did we want to do well in that cup? Yeah. Is it kind of one where you go, oh no, we're out? Like, probably not. It'd just been another additional game where those sort of games count when you get to the quarter-final stages, really. It would have been a good game to get people minutes, but then when you were in the situation we were in today, it's probably a game that you could in some respects do without. But obviously I'm not saying that we didn't try or anything like that, and then obviously going down to 10 men as well then doesn't help at all either. So a really bizarre day at the office, but we look ahead to Melton, a tough game. They've got some good players who they look to try and play, and let's just see how we go. And thanks for everyone who came out today. I know it weren't the scoreline that we wanted, and really appreciate the applause at the end. And because I think that one thing I must say about the lads, they didn't give up. But as I say, I know it was a little bit tongue in cheek, but I was like, two things might have needed to happen today. I needed to sign some of the supporters on, or sign myself on. Fernie's begging me to sign him on, but I'm not sure that's going to happen. But look, it is what it is. We go again next Saturday at home to Melton.